Hi and welcome back to another tutorial in our series on how to create a game with Ultimate Survival. And in this video we're going to add an UMA character into our game and replace the one that we currently have in the inventory screen. And we're going to add a new script for adding wardrobe clothes to our new UMA character that we're going to add into Ultimate Survival. So that means that we'll be able to grab clothes from our inventory and drag them onto the UMA character and he'll wear them at runtime. If you've already used UMA or UMA DCS before, this doesn't sound very daunting, but if you haven't, it could sound a little bit scary. Don't worry, there's already 2 videos I've made on YouTube showing how you can get UMA into your game and how you can create your own wardrobe items. If you've already seen my YouTube tutorials on how to get UMA into your game, you would have already grabbed the wrap pants and the robe set from willbegameart.com. They're free and they're fantastic, the quality of them is amazing. If you haven't already grabbed these, pop over now and grab them while you can, because I don't know how long these will be free. Well, you kind of guessed that the robe set is a monthly freebie, so by the end of this month it will no longer be available for free. Depending on when you're watching this video, UMA 2.1 might not be available yet on the Unity 3D Asset Store. If it's not, pop over to GitHub and grab hold of the latest version of Branch Unity 53. If it is available in the Asset Store, don't worry about it, just grab it from the Asset Store and import it directly into your project. Now inside Unity, I've imported UMA and those other 3 models into my project, and I've created a folder called UMA and a folder called Wardrobes in my All My Stuff graphics folder, just to keep everything nice and tidy. If you want to look at my other videos and learn how to create your own wardrobes, I'd recommend it, but I'll quickly just make a new wardrobe so we can add those padded trousers now. So we'll go right click, create, and UMA wardrobe recipe, and we'll rename this wardrobe here to be padded trousers, and I'm going to use all one word, and here where it says display name I'm going to put padded trousers. And we now need to get the races that our trousers will be compatible with, and that's the human male and the human male DCS. Once you've clicked them both, you'll see they'll appear on the right hand side in the inspector. Now our wardrobe slot for our trousers, surprisingly enough, are going to be on the legs. We don't need to suppress any other wardrobe slots because our trousers aren't big enough that they're covering other parts of our body. Remember that if you click legs, it would actually hide the trousers once you equip them. So don't suppress anything. We do need to hide the actual mesh for the legs because these trousers replace the existing legs. So hide base slots, we'll choose male legs. It doesn't replace anything because we're not actually replacing low poly legs with high poly legs like for like. This is item of clothing that's being added onto, well, to pretend it's being added onto our avatar. And as always, I played around in GIMP and I made myself a little icon for these padded trousers, just taking a picture from Willbe's website. And now we're going to go and find the trousers that we've downloaded, and they'll be in UMA, in content, in contrib, and wrap pants. And we're going to find the slots, and here they are. What we've got in here, the meshes, and you can see here's the slot. So let's drag the slot over, and you'll see that it's appeared M wrapped pants, and now we need its overlay, and that's in the overlays folder. Let's drag that in there. Simple enough, job done. Lovely pair of trousers that we're adding to our scene. Now we're wanting to go back into Tools, Ultimate Survival, Item Management, and we're going to add our padded trousers as some legs equipment. So let's find these leather leggings because they look quite similar. Shift D to copy it, and let's change our leather leggings to padded trousers. Icon is going to be the same one that we mentioned, so icon padded trousers, what I've called mine, and I'm going to change the description to very nice padded trousers for extra protection. and its defense is going to be 15. Durability, we can put that 80, and it's not displaceable, it is craftable, and requires, let's say, 25 pieces of leather. Now our world object is going to be a bag pickup, so we won't have any special prefab, we'll just use the standard bag, and we'll reference padded trousers once we drop it into our game. So let's do that quickly just to get out of the way. I'll find our bag, and I drop it into our scene here, and on item pickup we're going to say it's going to be the padded trousers. So let's go and start getting UMA into our scene. First thing is that we need to get our UMA DCS object. Let's just drag that and put that into our scene here. And now we're going to go to in-game GUI, canvas, number 1 windows, number 1 character, window again, there's a character, and if we double click we can see here's the male. And he looks good. But we don't want him. So we want to click here on character, create another empty game object, and I'm going to call this one UMA. And I want to position him at the same position as our man, so let's copy his transform and let's paste that here, and now we can hide our male. And on the UMA we want to add the dynamic character avatar and set the active race to human male. So now if we click play and we go to our inventory, we should have a man standing there in a T pose or an A pose because we don't have an animation on him, but at least he'll be in the scene. So let's click tab, and there's our UMA standing there in its pants with his arms are open in all his glory. So some of the things we need to add for our UMA that we can see immediately: eyebrows, looks a bit weird, let's give him some hair, and then we can start adding in our clothes. Let's go to race animation controllers and let's add our character preview that we got with Ultimate Survival, and now he'll stand in a bit more of a natural pose. And now we want to go to our UMA folder and we want to open up our UMA, human male, and its recipes. Keep going deeper, wardrobe recipes, and here we've got a beard, we've got eyes, eyebrows, even different faces. We've got so much to play with. So I'm just going to lock this here so we don't lose it, and open up default wardrobe recipes. So let's give him eyes, and let's give him, which ones? These eyebrows, number 2, and how about some hair? Male hair too. Now if we click play, let's unlock this, and click play, we should have a little bit more features on our UMA. And here he is. He's got white eyebrows and black hair, but that's because he uses just for men, and he wants to look good for the ladies, but doesn't like to get it in his eyes. Now we've got our UMA in our scene, we want to start adding in our clothes. So if we pick up our padded trousers and drag them here, we want them to appear on our UMA. This is the first time in our tutorials that we'll actually be doing a bit of code. Makes it a little bit different, but not too scary. So don't worry. I'm going to be holding your hand and we're going to be doing it together. Well, kind of. So if you want to know where all the magic happens, it's actually on this one here, character. And there's a script called character equipment. I'm just going to double click this and load it up in MonoDevelop, but you can use anything you want. Before I do, let's expand here, equipment pieces. So for every piece of clothing that you've got in your game, you need to increase this list here. Like if I now added in our Oh, number 12. Wooden chest plate is twice. I need to change this to be the padded trousers, and then it would look for the padded trousers that we called it in Tools, Ultimate Survival and Item Management. But what about object? That's looking for a game object to equip onto the previous model. Doesn't help us at all here. So we're going to open up MonoDevelop. We're going to edit this entire script so it's no longer looking for models to add to the old avatar. It's going to be looking for recipes to add to our UMA. And here we are inside MonoDevelop. It's the first time we're playing with any code in these tutorials, like I said, but don't let that put you off. So the first thing we want to do is add in using UMA character system and using UMA. So we want to create a public variable so we can drag and drop our UMA game object into it that can be referenced for the rest of the script. Now, don't forget I'm called Messy Coder for a reason. Let's just copy this and push this down and stick it here. Let's change game object to be the UMA dynamic character avatar, and again with the string here, the dynamic character avatar. Let's change object to say avatar. Let's change m_item name to be m_avatar, and copy and stick that in there. And now we've got, let's clean that up here, and let's put public variable to get UMA. So we've got our dynamic character avatar. Let's save this, and if we go presto magico, hocus pocus, you can see avatars appeared here, dynamic character avatar. And let's drag in our UMA from the scene and put him there. Now we've got our UMA being referenced in our game. And now we're back in MonoDevelop. Let's start adding some more public variables. Now we've got this item name one, so let's just grab it again and paste it beneath, and let's call this one slot. And once again, for every public we've got a private, and here it is, m_slot. We don't need this game object for object anymore, so let's turn this one into an UMA, and where are you hiding? T for text. Here it is, UMA text recipe, and I'm going to call this one recipe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Recipe. Actually, we could call this one wardrobe. Let's call it wardrobe. Oops, wardrobe. And it'll be m_wardrobe. My fingers do not work. So now we've got these three publics. We need to serialize them. All that magicness down here. Let's just grab this one because we don't need this object one anymore. And now he should no longer be red. Pip paf poof, away he goes. Now let's serialize the other one and put our slot here. Shazoom once again. I don't like this. Let's put here header, and in the header UMA settings. Oops, there you go. That looks better. Let's save that. And now we've got UMA settings here, and we've still got all this other gibberish down here. So we don't actually need the object anymore. We don't even need their scripts for putting the underwear pack. So let's just start hacking away and removing things. So when in doubt, just remove here the piece object set active, and let's put a print again and say removed, and here put print and say added let's go back into Unity and see what happens. And here we go. We've got our item name Paddy Trousers, we've got our header for UMA settings, and then we've got the empty string slot and the empty recipe variable for the game object called wardrobe. So everything looks great so far. Fantastic. Click play, pick up our trousers and see what happens, because don't forget we added in those two consoles messages. So let's grab our trousers, put it here, and now we've got added. Let's drag them away, and you see as soon as I picked it up it said removed. Put it back, added, lift it up, removed, added, removed, added, removed. And I've dropped them on the floor. Oh dear. So let's go back into MonoDevelop and make some more magic. Now we want to add just one level of error handling that makes sure that at least there's a slot and a wardrobe item attached when we try to drag and drop an item of clothing. So let's put an if in here, and it's going to be piece slot it does not equal null, so making sure that that variable exists. And then we've got ampersand piece dot slot dot length is greater than 0, so making sure that there's something written in there, it's not just an empty string. And for good measure, ampersand wardrobe does not equal null. We're making sure that our slot variable is there and something's actually written there. We're not checking if it's the correct slot, we're just making sure something's there at least. And we're making sure that the wardrobe variable has got something as well. Let's be safe and put avatar dot clear slot and piece dot slot. Now you don't really need to do the clear slot, but I like to do it just to be safe. I was told that it's always better to be safe than sorry. So let's also do set slot, and here we're going to have the piece dot wardrobe. Now you could still use the old way that UMA 2 had of setting the slots, and that would be the slot name as in legs and then the recipe, but using the wardrobe you don't need to do that because the wardrobe contains the data for where the slot is, for what the clothing is attached to for its slot. So that's cool, one less thing to worry about. And now we need to do avatar build character, and avatar dot force update false, because we're not changing the DNA, true, and mesh true. True. Okay, we're clearing the slot there, we're adding the wardrobe piece, we're rebuilding the character, and we're just putting a false update for good measure. And now we don't actually need this if holder has disabled underwear, set underwear as active to false, and we don't even need this underwear logic anymore either. So let's just comment it out for now. You can always go back and delete it later, and we don't need this. Here we go, nice and tidy. And here we've got where we moved. Oh, we can remove our little. I didn't use the debug log, I just used it as a print. Used to that. So here, so let's grab our code that we have up here, paste it down here. Let's add a little bit of space, and we don't need this because we're not checking against the wardrobe piece, and we don't need to set wardrobe. So when we remove our clothing, we're going to clear slot, build a character, force an update. Okay, so inside Unity we've got here our slot and our UMA text recipe. I'm going to put here slot legs, and where did we save our recipe? It was in graphics, Uma, and I put it in here, wardrobes, padded trousers. Lovely. Okay, fingers crossed everyone. So we remember that we went up here into, let's just reconfirm that everything's still working. We've got our legs equipment, padded trousers, it's called padded trousers, using our icon, and in script we've got padded trousers and the item name here, padded trousers. Alright, is he going to wear the trousers? Let's find out. Picked up the trousers, here he is, a little bit naked, a little bit cold. Put on your trousers. And he's wearing his trousers. How can something so simple get me so excited? Look at that. Okay. All you need to do now is follow the same steps for everything else. Okay, so you can't drag it into other slots because it's only for the legs. Shush chicken. Now, go off, do it yourselves, add in some shirts, some shoes, some gloves, and if you look at my Uma tutorial on YouTube, you can grab the robe, follow the steps, and then start having him equip the robe as well. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video. And if you like it, remember to click it. If you want to see our previous tutorials, on the left we've got a video about adding NPCs and AI, and also there's a video over there for my Uma 2 tutorial series that I've kicked off. It's a very short one, it's going to be fun, you might enjoy it. And if you like these videos and you want to see more, click on that big red subscribe button.